Hello everyone, this is Jennifer at Junk Journals by Jen, where journaling is about the journey. Today I'm going to show you how I make avocado dyed paper. You can get this lovely pink and rose colored paper. It's absolutely beautiful. If you find this interesting, please go ahead and like and subscribe. So let's get right to it. We're in my kitchen today, and the first thing you're going to need is a large pot, and hopefully I don't make you seasick here. I've already got a pot on the stove, and I've got about the pits and skins of 8 avocados in here. You can use more or less depending on how much water you think you're going to need or how many papers you're going to dye. I'm going to do quite a few today. So you put the pits and the skins in there, and a couple of tips, first of all, are you can, while you're saving up your avocados, you can store them in the freezer and just keep adding to them until you have enough. And then the other thing is, try to get them as clean as you can get them. You can see some sedimentation floating in the water. That will get on your papers when you're dipping them into the water to dye them. If you're not careful, I don't have a sieve or anything to really strain them finely, so I just kind of deal with it. But you can use a sieve or something like that to strain them finely. But the cleaner you get them, the better off you are. So I've got them anyway in this large pot of water, covering the skins and pits, and I'm going to boil it for about 5 minutes or so. I didn't add anything to the water. It's just water and the skins and pits, okay? And I'll come back to you in about 5 minutes or after they've been boiling for about 5 minutes. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit. So we are back, and I have poured the hot water into this pan, and you can see it's a pinkish color. There is sediments in there, and I just kind of pour it off the paper when I dye it. It's not that big a deal. While we're waiting for this to kind of cool down a little bit, I'm going to take you back over to the stove. We are going to reboil these skins with some baking soda, and that's going to get us the deep color for our second batch of papers. And I'm going to just use about 2 tablespoons of baking soda for this pot. And just put that in there. I'm gonna stir it up a little bit. And we'll bring that back to a boil and let it boil another 5 minutes or so. Okay. All right, come back over here to this. Now this is really hot water. So I'm going to get some, I'm gonna just leave it like that and see if I can work with it. I have before. This is regular copy paper I'm using, copy weight paper. And you can just dip it right in. Ooh, that's hot. We might have to get a little bit of room temperature water in there. It's hard to film and do this one-handed. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna get just some cooler water just to cool it down a little. I'll be right back. Okay, I added some cooler water so we could work with it. And you just put it in and leave it in for a few seconds. The longer you leave it in, the more color it will pick up, but this will never get really darker than a light pink. And it will be hard to tell that it's even dyed unless you put it next to white paper. You can see here, here's some after it's been dried. But when you put it next to the white paper, you can really tell the difference. Here's one I pulled out already. It looks very pale pink, but next to the white, you can tell. Okay. And I like to kind of put it in under the sediment. So I just kind of go from the edge and put it down. And let it set. Let me check our other water over here. Set a good boil. Let it go for a little bit longer. See if we get a nice deep color. Okay. This is such pretty paper. I really love it. I love coffee dyed paper too, but this avocado dyed paper is something else. Especially love the dark rose color. Now you can do, you don't have to do one page at a time. You can put several pieces in. But this paper is a new paper I got, and it seems to be a little bit more delicate than the other paper I've used. So I'm a little bit leery of putting several sheets at a time in there. I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit. If you never tried dyeing your own paper, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. It's a little bit of a mess, but it's worth it. Something to be said for a great big tablecloth. Oh, we're boiling over here, so let's go check on that. Got some stickers coming off. Turn that down a little. Okay, I'm going to turn that off and let it cool. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish dipping the light colored papers, and when we're ready to dip the darker ones, I'll come back to you. All right, so we've got the darker one in here. I've gone ahead and replaced the water with the one that's been boiling for 5 more minutes, and you can tell it's much darker than the other one. It's also very hot. We might need to add some lukewarm water to it. Actually, let me get my spoon. What we're going to do is put a bunch of these papers down in here and let them soak for a little bit, so we can get a nice, deep, rich rose color. You can see how that's so much darker than the one we did a little bit ago. Just use your spoon to push that down in there. And you can get as many papers in here as you can cover with the water. We'll just do a couple more to show you, give you an idea of what they're going to look like. And what you can do is just let the water cool, and as it cools, go ahead and start taking them out. But just to speed things up a little, I'll go ahead and add some lukewarm water to it. Do one more. Okay, we'll let those sit for a little bit. And in the meantime, I'm going to show you what these other papers look like here. You can see how they look pink next to the white. They're such a pretty pastel pink color. You couldn't see them too much at the beginning, but now they're really showing up. They're beautiful. And these next ones should be a much deeper rose color. Okay, these have been sitting for a few minutes, and try to take these out one-handed now. Oh wow, beautiful. Got a nice deep color. Oops, so hard to do this one-handed, sorry. Well, you get the idea. This is what it looks like. So you've got, we've got these here, light pink ones, and then we've got this really dark rose colored one. And when it dries, they will look like this. And these. So I hope you found this useful, making avocado dyed papers. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them for you. And until next time, take care, everybody. Bye.